Hello, grade 10. So for today, I'm going to discuss with you the factor theorem. So it states that if p of c is equal to 0, then x minus c is a factor of a polynomial p of x. So how are we going to illustrate this factor theorem? So before natin i-illustrate through polynomials, let's illustrate first to a number. Okay. So, sinasabi lang, magiging factor lang daw ang isang number if the remainder is equal to 0. So, if we have 8, okay, as a number, what are the factors of 8? It can be 2, 4, and 8, right? So, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 1, also 1. Okay. 1, 2, 4, and 8. So, if we are going to divide 8 by 2, so 8 divides 2, that is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. Therefore, the remainder is 0. We can say that 2 is a factor of 8. Okay? So, if we are going to illustrate the factor theorem in a polynomials, let's say if we have here x squared minus 5x plus 6 divided by x minus 3. So, paano ba natin kinukuha yung remainder? Diba? We are using the remainder theorem. If we have x minus 3, that will become p of 3 is equal to x squared minus 5x plus 6. So, palitan lang natin yung mga x ng 3. Okay, so 3 squared, that is 9. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15 plus 6. 9 minus 15 is negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Now, if our remainder is equal to 0, we can say that x minus 3 is a factor of this p of x. Okay? So, di ba kapag sinabi nating a factor, we are expanding a number. We are thinking of a number that when we multiply the two numbers, the result is that given number. Diba? Kaya nga tayo may 8. Ano ba yung mga factor ni 8? Pwede tayo mag-isip ng dalawang number na kapag minultiply daw natin, yun daw yung 8. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng factor. So, ito, if we are going to get the factor of x squared minus 5x plus 6, so that can be factored as x. Diba yung x squared, it can be a factor of x times x. And what are the factors of 6? Or what is the two number that when we multiply them, that is 6, and when we add them, that is negative 5. Okay, very good. So we have negative 2 times negative 3. So, kung titingnan natin, isa sa mga factor nitong x squared minus 5x plus 6 is x minus 3. And the other factor is x minus 2. On this factor theorem, we are going to state whether the given x minus c is a factor or not a factor. Okay, so let me give you, ayun lang yung gagawin natin. Find the remainder, and when the remainder is 0, that means it is a factor. But when the remainder is non-zero, then therefore, this is not a factor of a given x minus c. Okay? Alright, for example number 1, using the factor theorem, identify whether the given divisor is a factor of a polynomial p of x. Okay, so if p of x is equal to x cubed plus 8x squared minus 7x minus 2 by x minus 1, is it a factor or not a factor? Okay, so first, let's get the remainder by applying the remainder theorem. So that is p of, if we have x minus 1, that will become p of 1. Okay? So, sa factor theorem, ina-apply natin yung remainder theorem. Then, after that, we are going to identify whether it is a factor or not a factor. So, that is 1 raised to 3 plus 8 times 1 raised to 2 minus 7 times 1 minus 2. Okay? So, 1 raised to 3, that is 1. 1 raised to 2, that is 1, times 8 is 8. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7 minus 2. Next, 1 plus 8, that is 9. And 9 minus 7, that is 2. And 2 minus 2, that is 0. Therefore, we can say that x minus 1 is a factor of p of x. Okay, so in factor theorem, ito yung pinaka ini-state natin whether it is a factor or not a factor. Since the remainder is 0, therefore we can say that it is a factor. Ngayon, kung hindi magsi-0 to, ibig sabihin lang nun, not a factor. Okay. Alright, so let's have our second example. Let p of x is equal to 8x cubed plus 12x squared. It should be 8x raised to 4 plus 12x cubed minus 18x plus 14 by x minus 2. Alright, so by using the factor theorem, so that will become p of, if we have negative 2 here, so that is p of 2. Okay, is equal to 8 times 2 raised to 4 plus 12 times 2 raised to 3 minus 18 times 2 plus 14. 2 raised to 4, that is 16. And 16 times 8, that is 128. 2 raised to 3, that is 8 times 12, that is 96. Minus, negative 18 times 2 is negative 36 plus 14. Okay, so 128 plus 96, that is 224. 36 plus 14, or we can say minus 36 plus 14. 224 minus 36, that is 188. Plus 14, that is 202. Okay, therefore, the remainder is 202. And we can say that x minus 2 is not a factor of a given. Okay, so yan yung answer natin. The remainder is equal to 202. Therefore, x minus 2 is not a factor of p of x. Okay, so again, sa factor theorem, same process lang sa remainder theorem. The difference is you identify whether it is a factor or not a factor. Okay, so with that, thank you for finishing this video, and I hope you learned something about the factor theorem.